Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina from Venezuela. And today is, what day is it today? Monday, July 9th, 2025. It's Monday, July 7th. It's July 7th. Oh, today is July 7th, 2025. It's almost 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time as we kick off for our live stream. This is a place where you can come hang out with us and ask me questions about your K-1 visa application, your green card application. Now remember, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice, and I don't work for USCIS. Although I probably should. I don't know why I'm not. I should work for them. I mean, I know how to do this process just as well as they do, and probably better than any immigration attorney. How many immigration attorneys do you know has actually brought foreign nationals to the United States and filled out the paperwork for that person, for their family? Francois Livingston is first up to bat. Good evening, Diego and Karina, Francois and Hamid in upstate New York. Glad to see you. How's Hamid doing? Is he enjoying the nice weather? Upstate New York's pretty nice weather this time of the year. Go to some state parks, get lots of pictures together. Remember, even though you're still waiting for your 2-year green card to get finished up, you still got to keep collecting evidence for the 10-year green card, right? You got to keep collecting evidence for the 10-year. I just went through we got this little library here in the house, and I just went through some boxes, and I found all of our chats, all of our WhatsApp chats from 2021 and 2022 and 2023. I found a stack of chats like this, all printed out. It's pretty cool to look through them. So, oh yeah, like this is when we were talking about Christmas. I was in America, Karina was in Colombia. It was pretty cool. And Francois says, all is well. Say it louder to the people in the back. In the back of what? Say what? Say what louder? To the back of what? Where? Come on. What? You talking about K-1 visas or the weather in New York? I don't know. And Priyanka is in the house. Good evening, Diego. What's going on, Priyanka? How's everything with your family? And Francois, and never stopping collecting evidence. And Karina, obviously, right. Priyanka, we know. When you get your 2-year green card, okay, or if you're waiting for your 2-year green card, you got to still keep collecting evidence for your 10-year green card. It doesn't end. I went to Office Depot, bought some binders, and we have collected tons of evidence for Karina's 10-year green card, which we're going to apply for next year, in March of next year. This is about 8 months away. The time goes by so quickly that you have to not forget that. You got to keep collecting the receipts for the bills on your house or your apartment or your townhouse. Because once you get your 2-year green card, you've got to prove to immigration, when you lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card, that you're still happily married, living under the same roof, and sharing the same responsibilities. And Priyanka says, hello from Michigan. How's the weather in Michigan, Priyanka? I know you were in Alabama, then you moved to Michigan, right? And then you had to go to go work. You had to go to work in Sweden, if I recall. Didn't you go to work for your boss in Sweden for a week? That must have been pretty cool. But you got to keep collecting the evidence for your 10-year green card, and then become a U.S. citizen after 3 years. So you look at your 2-year green card, you look at the issue date. 3 years from the issue date of your 2-year green card, that's when you're eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship. That's what your goal should be. That's what your focus should be. All right? Become an American. Become a U.S. citizen. Don't worry about what's happening back in the country you lived in before. Focus on what's going on in the city you live in now in the United States. I mean, Karina, she knows her way around here. I mean, just no problem at all. Priyanka, what is the timeline for 10-year green card as of today? I heard current government is defunding USCIS. The U.S. government never funded USCIS. Taxpayer money isn't used to fund USCIS. And if there's a very little amount of money from the taxpayer goes to USCIS, it needs to be defunded, because it is not the responsibility of my next door neighbor to process Karina's 10-year green card. It's my responsibility, and I will pay for the visa fee, not my next door neighbor. So you said, what is the timeline for a 10-year green card? It's the timeline for, what do you mean for a 10-year green card? How long does it take to get a 10-year green card? Is that the question? About 2 to 4 years. But if you do as I say, and if you listen to Diego, you keep collecting your evidence for your 10-year green card, you're probably going to be applying for U.S. citizenship before you get your 10-year green card in your hand. So what happens is you apply for U.S. citizenship after 3 years from the issue date of your 2-year green card, and you bring all this evidence. You can do it online. You can file online for your citizenship. And what they will do is they will adjudicate your U.S. citizenship package plus your 10-year green card package at the same time. So you basically jump in the line if you apply for U.S. citizenship. And you said you heard the current government is defunding USCIS. Well, I hope so, because it is not the responsibility of the United States taxpayer to pay for my green card for Karina, or for Karina's green card, not for my green card. It's my responsibility to pay for Karina's green card. It is your responsibility to pay for your beneficiary's green card and K-1 visa paperwork. And K-1 visa, it's not the U.S. government's job. It's the Congress wrote the law that says it's a benefit to bring a foreign national to the United States to marry a U.S. citizen. The Congress didn't say that American taxpayers are going to fund it. That's up to the sponsors to fund it and the beneficiaries. Okay, so it's up to me. It's up to you. It's up to people who are using the process to fund the process, not the taxpayers. So Priyanka says, you heard the current government is defunding USCIS. Well, the previous government should never have funded it. It should never have been funded by taxpayers. It's not our job to do that. It's not the job of the Congress to pay for your green card. Yes, Diego, I've been to Sweden in January. That's right. It was great. We had a great time, right? Priyanka, does it take 2 to 4 years to process a 10-year green card? Yes. It takes 2 to 4 years to lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card and apply and to get your 10-year green card. About 2 years is the average, but it could go 4 years depending on how badly you put your green card application together. If you put together a sloppy green card application, immigration is going to get it, take it, toss it aside, and go work on those green card applications that are actually good. You said you are surprised. Priyanka, surprised. What are you surprised about? What are you surprised about? The length of time? There's lots of people who are applying for 10-year green cards, and the process is very intense. Before the U.S. government is going to give a foreign national a 10-year green card, they're going to investigate you thoroughly, probably 10 times as harder than before, okay? So make sure that you have all your duckies in a row and all your paperwork is ready, all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Priyanka, so we cannot travel outside the USA. You can travel outside the USA on a 2-year green card, but I don't recommend it. Why do you want to travel on a 2-year green card? You spent how long? How long did it take to get a 2-year green card? 1.5 years? And then all of a sudden you got to leave America and go back to unless there's a medical emergency or something bad happen. If there's something bad happen, then you should go and take care of it, with the family. You can travel on a 2-year green card, but I don't recommend you do, because if you do, the Border Patrol will interrogate you when you return. They're going to ask you, why are you traveling? Where did you go? Why did you leave America? You just got here. Why are you leaving? That's the way it is. Let me see. You can travel, Priyanka, but I don't recommend it. Karina spent 2 years waiting on her freaking green card, and she's right here happy in America. And we've been to Arizona, we've been to Nevada, and we already got our next vacation planned for September. And I told her where it is because she couldn't hold out any longer. She said, I can't be, you got to tell me where we're going for our vacation. So I told her. She said, oh, that's going to be great. Yay, filing adjustment of status while living separately due to family conflicts. Is it possible? No, you can't do that. If you file for a green card separately, immigration is going to think that you are in a fraudulent relationship, and the green card will be not approved. You won't get approved. Sorry to break the bad news to you, but that's the way it is. If you are living separately, you will not get your green card approved. Chico, I'm going through a lot, Diego. My marriage is a problem. My what? Your refused to attend my interview. We have married over 1 year, and I hope you guys are doing well. So I went with my daughter. Okay, so did you pass the interview? That was the question. Maybe the person was scared to go and just had enough of immigration. You went to the interview. How did you do? Did you pass? I'm sure you did. Yay, we've had too many conflicts. Well, then, if you got too many conflicts, then somebody's going to have to get on a plane and fly home to where they started. Because you're not going to get a green card if you file separately from a separate house. Francois Livingston. So who pays for all those lovely people to come to the IES through the lottery program? People who pay for the visa fees. It's all funded internally. It's very expensive to apply for a K-1 visa. It's very expensive to apply for a green card. It's very expensive to apply for a spousal visa and a tourist visa. Think about this. Let's take Bogota, Colombia, for an example. Out of 300 Colombians who pay $260, I think it is, for the visa, only probably 10% get approved. So let's say you take 300 times. Let's say you take 300. Look right here. You take 300 times 260. That's $78,000. Right? Listen, Francois. Listen to me. If 300 Colombians apply for a tourist visa at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota will collect $78,000. But only 10% get approved, right? Which is 30, right? Times 260. So only 30 get approved, which is $7,800. So the U.S. Embassy in Bogota made about what, $65,000, $70,000. That money is returned to USCIS to process visas for the lottery, for the K-1, to pay the employees, to pay for the security, to pay for the fraud department. But if you let's suppose you take 68,000 people, right? 68,000 people in 1 month applied for a K-1 visa, right? What is the K-1 visa fee? I can't remember, $600 and some dollars. Let's just, I'm guessing $650. That's $44,200,000. That's $44 million immigration took in 1 month on K-1 visa applications. They use that money to pay the employees their salaries, to pay for this, pay for that, etc. So you can see that USCIS funds itself using our money. We don't need taxpayer money to be funding this. And the Congress hasn't approved taxpayer money to be funding this. So that's the way it works. So Francois says, who pays for all those lovely people who come to the United States through the lottery program? We do in our fees that we pay. Priyanka, while 10-year green card is processing, we cannot travel outside the USA. Yes, you can. When you apply for your 10-year green card, you must wait for your letter from immigration to say that your 10-year green card is in process. It's what, the 797, right? The notice of action letter. Your 10-year green card is in process. Your 2-year green card is automatically extended for 4 years. As of 2025, I believe it's 4 years. So you got a 2-year green card that's been extended for 4 years, and you have your 797, your notice of action, to say that you have applied for your 10-year green card. You staple the two together. You you bring the two together if you decide to travel. Okay? You still keep your 2-year green card even though it's expired, and you bring with it the 797 that says you've applied for your 10-year green card. So your 10-year green card's in process. So the Border Patrol is going to say, okay, your 2-year green card has expired. but you have a 797 that says you've applied for your 10-year green card, so you get an automatic extension on your 2-year green card, which means you're good to go. It's good stuff, right? Aren't you glad you're on this channel learning all this stuff? Think about it. An immigration attorney would be charging you $400 just for that information. God is good. Hi, Diego and beautiful lady. I went to make my state ID. They are asking for some card for port of entry. That's the I-94. That's what it is. Your I-94 is your port of entry, proof of legal entry into the United States. You have to print it. You said you don't know what to do. You got to go to the Border Patrol website, go to U.S. Border Patrol /I-94 into Google, go into Google, or what can you use to look up stuff? You have what? You have Safari, you got Google, you've got Bing, right? You can go into any of those search engines, type in U.S. Border Patrol /I-94. It will take you to the Border Patrol website, and you will put in your passport number, your full name, your country, where you came from, and you will then see your name pop up on your big, beautiful computer screen, and then you will print 5 or 6 copies of your I-94. And you got to include the I-94 in your 2-year green card application, or else you're not going to get a 2-year green card. You're going to get an RFE or a denial. God is good. Tell me you understand what I just said. Yay, he came in a K1, but we didn't file for adjustment of status due to conflicts. He was arrested for 30 days for DV. I dropped the charges, but after the incident, things got really bad with my family, especially my kids. Okay, why is he still in the United States of America? If he got arrested for domestic violence, why is he still in the United States? Why wasn't he handed over to USCIS or to ICE, excuse me? Why wasn't he handed over to ICE and put into a detention cell and his ass deported? Why is he still here? And why did you drop the charges? Francois Livingston, come to the U.S. Sorry for the typo. You got it, Francois. Yay, if we file for adjustment of status, how will this DV charge affect us, even if the charges were dropped? The green card's going to be disapproved. Forget about it. The green card's history. It's toast. It's a marshmallow around the campfire. The green card is now a marshmallow in the campfire. If you are a beneficiary and you have a DV charge on you, whether it's dismissed or whatever, it's irrelevant. You're not going to get a green card. That's the way it is. We don't want people like that in the United States. Francois, I'm just not a fan of the lottery program because they have it made with no wait and instant green cards. Just my opinion. I'm not a fan of the lottery. President Trump is not a fan of the lottery. Senator Rubio, Secretary of State Rubio is not a fan of the lottery. So I doubt very much if this lottery green card giveaway is going to be around much longer during the Trump administration. I don't think it's going to be around much longer. I'm just waiting for Trump to put that on his list of executive orders to get rid of it. And that's going to happen, I'm sure. I know it's going to happen. Shiku, I'm doing very well, Diego. They ask a lot of questions about my relationship. What type of job does my wife do? I brought all the evidence of the relationship, bank statements, pictures together with the family. Then the office said, if I can prove my relationship is bona fide within 90 days of admission to the United States, I can get my green card. He asked me, when did we get married? I told him the correct. He said, okay, no problem. They're very good. Shiku, get some Mountain Dew salute. And you did it by yourself because your significant other was a big scaredy cat and didn't want to go to the interview. Big scaredy cat, right? But you got done with it. Good job. We pulled you over the finish line. Diego and Karina helped you through this. Francois, I don't think President Trump is going to let this lottery program continue for much longer, in my honest opinion. Okay? Honestly, I don't think so. Priyanka, thank you so much, Diego and Karina. You're good, Priyanka. You can travel on a 2-year green card. You can travel on a 10-year green card. You can travel on a 10-year green card while waiting for a 2-year, while waiting for your 10-year green card to get mailed to you. But you got to bring evidence of your relationship with you if you travel on, especially on a 2-year green card. If you travel on a 2-year green card, you got to bring your marriage certificate with you, your last tax return, uh, proof of your name on the lease to the apartment or the house or the deed to the house. You bring a copy of the title to the car with both names on the car. Bring all this evidence with you when you travel overseas. I don't recommend you travel overseas. The Border Patrol could say, I don't like your Nike shoes. They suck. You're not being allowed into the United States because I don't like Nike shoes. I'm being sarcastic, okay? But it could happen, but not for that particular reason. But you can be denied re-entry to the United States on a 2-year green card. Once you get your 2-year green card, stay in America. If you have to travel within the United States. I'm taking Karina on a wonderful vacation in September. She's going to have a blast. Okay? And we're going to make videos, and we'll make a video of it for our members to watch. If you're a member of this channel, you'll get to see our vacation, and you'll find out where we went. And you're going to watch, if you watch it, that's up to you, but you don't have to watch the video, but you're going to see that we're having far too much fun in America. And when Karina gets a U.S. citizenship under her belt, she gets her U.S. passport, then we're planning a vacation. We're going to go see baby Paola and Asia and Andrea, her family, Ejiri, in Colombia. Unfortunately, I can't take her to Venezuela because the communist dictatorship of Venezuela will put me in jail, so we can't go to Venezuela. So maybe Karina's mom will be in Colombia. We'll fly her to Colombia, and then that way I can get to meet her mom. Francois Livingston, look at that super chat from Francois. It is Hardy's time. That's a Mountain Dew salute, Francois. It's been a while since we've been to Hardy's. And to what day is today? It's Monday. On Sunday, we have to wait till Sunday because Karina's working during the week. On Sunday, we'll go to Hardy's and we'll celebrate that super chat with Francois at Hardy's on Sunday. And a Mountain Dew salute to Francois. We appreciate those super chats. Really appreciate it. Yeah, my eldest is concerned about his intentions and does not accept him. It doesn't matter who accepts who. If you got a domestic violence charge, if you are a foreign national and you come to this beautiful country, the United States of America, our constitutional republic, and you get the police arresting you for being domestic violence against your sponsor, your ass is not going to get a green card. You can send the $1,400 if you want to immigration. They'll take your money, but they're not going to give you a green card. Because they don't want people like that in the country. And I don't want people like that. And Karina, most definitely, we don't want people like that in this country. Okay? We want you to come here and be happy little campers and follow the rules and be a good little, follow the law of this country, and your life will be perfect. Don't go on vacation to a foreign country on a 2-year green card. Wait till you get your 10-year green card. If your 10-year green card is in process, you can still leave the country. Okay, you can still do that. Yay, he is working without a permit. Okay, immigration will find out. And driving without an international license, well, you have to have a U.S. license to drive in the United States, not an international license. My family submitted tips to ICE. What are you dealing with? What is your opinion? This is all so difficult. Well, if you're married, you need to get divorced, number one. First thing is you got to get divorced and get totally legally broken apart from this person, and then let immigration handle it. It's no longer your problem. The only problem you have is if you are married still together. If you're still married, that's a problem for you, the American citizen. But if you get divorced, it's not hard to do. It's easy to do. $400 and you're getting divorced. Then you're divorced. You take you get the copy of the police records, the domestic violence court records. You get copies of all the police tickets and everything you got. A copy of your NOA-2 letter and his K-1 visa or her K-1 visa, and boom, send it to the service center where you adjudicate where they adjudicated your K1. But you got to get a divorce first, because if while you're married, that's an issue right now. You got to get divorced. It's not hard to do. If he's working without a work permit, immigration will find out. It's not going to hurt you. He's driving without you can't drive in the United States on an international driver's license unless you're a freaking tourist. If you are a K1 visa applicant, or if you're adjusting status to green card, you have to get a U.S. driver's license. When I lived in Colombia, when I was in Colombia as a tourist, okay, I could drive on my Florida driver's license in Colombia. When I entered Colombia as a tourist on a 90-day tourist visa, I could drive in Colombia with my Florida driver's license. But when I got a visa to live in Colombia for a year, permanently for a year, the Colombian government told me I cannot drive on my Florida driver's license. I have to get a Colombian driver's license. Well, the same thing applies to the United States. If you get to the United States and you're in green card status, you have to get a U.S. driver's license. Okay? Shiku, good, congratulations. God is good. I have that, but they said some cards should be there. I don't know what other documents. There's no other documents. The I-94 is the only thing you need. That's your proof of legal parole into the United States. So the person who's telling you that you need more stuff, okay, doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. Joel Adams, is adjustment of status after 90 days a major violation? No. Getting married after 90 days is deportation. Filing your adjustment of status after 90 days just slows down your freaking green card application. But you want to get it done within 6 months. If you go past 6 months, then it's a major violation. You want to get the green card applied for within about 60 days after you get married. Okay? But you don't want to go past 6 months after the entry date on your I-94, because that's a problem. Immigration will look for you. They'll come to your house. Priyanka, I don't want to go outside the United States, but I would like to have a choice if something emergency comes up. Well, you can. When I was living in India, I was stuck for 4 years without traveling to my home country. When I was living in you can travel on a 2-year and a 10-year green card, but I don't recommend it. I recommend you become a U.S. citizen before you travel anywhere. And it takes 3 years to become a citizen from the issue date on your 2-year green card. Karina's 2-year green card expires in June of 2026. In June of 2027, she can become a U.S. citizen, but we will apply for her 10-year green card in March of 2026. Oh, Sweden. Okay, no problem, Priyanka. Priyanka, should have to be a concern if I have to travel outside the U.S. while my 10-year green card's processing? No, you can do that. You just gotta prove. You just gotta not leave the United States until you get your I-797. When you lift the conditions off your 2-year green card, right? You apply for your 10-year green card. You're going to get an I-797. You're going to get a letter from immigration saying we have received your application to lift the conditions off of your 10-year green card. And then stand by for further notice. That is the letter that you can travel with your 2-year green card if your 2-year green card is expired, because your 2-year green card gets an automatic extension. Joe Adams, thanks, no problem. Sweden. Yeah, you went to Sweden to work. That's no problem. But here's the question. Here's what's going to happen. When you apply for U.S. citizenship, okay, when you apply for U.S. citizenship, the immigration officer is going to ask you this question. Have you left the United States? They're going to ask Karina. She said when she applies for U.S. citizenship, Karina, have you left the United States? No, never have. I've been here the whole time. We've been to New Mexico. We've been to Nevada, Arizona. We've been all around America, but we haven't. I didn't ever leave the United States. Okay, very good. Excellent. Priyanka, when you apply for U.S. citizenship, they're going to ask you, have you ever left the United States? You're going to say, yes, I had to go to Sweden for a week to work for my company that I work for in the United States. The company that I work for in the United States sent me to Sweden to work. No problem. You're good to go. Priyanka, did you go on vacation? Have you left the United States on your 10-year green card? Yes, I had to go to India for vacation to see my family. I was there for 2 weeks. No problem. Very good. But if you say, I went to India for 3 months, it's a problem. Let me see here. Priyanka, I'm not going to travel with my 2-year green card. Good job. That's a Mountain Dew salute. Priyanka's listening to you. You're following Diego's advice. I'm saving you from big headaches. Priyanka, good job. Don't do it. Stay in America. But you can travel on a 10-year green card, even while it's in process. You just got to carry the I-797 with you. Priyanka, thank you, Diego and Karina, for your support. No problem. Shiku, thank you for your support. I have not committed any crime, never worked without a permit. I work intelligence in 1 week since my interview, no response. But I'm very happy about all the questions and how I answered. Though you're just waiting on your green card now. Good job. Joel Adams, lawyer told us it was a minor violation. It's not a minor violation if you don't file for the green card within 90 days. It's a huge violation if you don't get married within 90 days. Okay? But it is best, if you can, to file within the 90-day window of time on the I-94, because that speeds up your green card application. But if you're 2 weeks or if you're a month past the 90 days, it's not a violation as long as you got married within 90 days. So if you're paying an immigration attorney money to tell you that, then I'm sorry, but you need to spend your money somewhere else. Yeah, I had filed for simple divorce, and after him being nice, I dropped it. Well, you love him, really? Oh, really? But all this is very confusing. It's not confusing. Can it be reopened? No. If your husband has a domestic violence charge against him with the police, ICE will know about it, whether you dropped it or not. If you apply for him to get a green card, okay, with that charge on him, he's not going to get his green card. You can forget about it. You got to start using your head. You got to use your brain and not your heart. Think with your brain. Okay? You love him as a person. Okay. Really? You need to find somebody else. I don't want to lose my kids. You're not going to lose your children. How are you going to lose your children? You're not going to lose your children. The divorce, when you file for divorce, file for divorce. Right now, you are going to apply for a green card for somebody with a DV record charge. He's not going to get his green card. So you're going to be married to somebody who's going to be deported. Then you're going to be up the creek without a paddle, even bigger, with nothing. You got to file for divorce. You got to dump the load. You got to dump that suitcase of that's hanging around your neck. Listen to me. If you listen to me, you're going to be thanking me in 6 months from now. You're going to say, man, I'm so glad I listened to Diego. You got to work with this and not with this. Right? No, your husband is not going to get his green card. Shiku, everything correctly. They asked if I ever worked without a work permit. I said no violations. Very good. Good job, Shiku. You're going to get your green card. God is good. Do I have to renew my I-94, which is expired? But my adjustment of status is under process. No, you don't. You don't renew your I-94. You get issued an I-94 by the Border Patrol when you enter the United States. When Karina landed in beautiful Miami, in Avianca Airlines, we landed in Avianca Airlines in Miami. The Border Patrol and Customs Enforcement issued Karina an I-94. When we got home to our house in Florida, I waited a few days for it to get processed, and I looked it up on the Border Patrol website, and I printed 5 copies. We got married within 90 days. We're in status. We filed for the green card. 3 months later, we got it, the green card. When the I-94 expires, it's irrelevant. It's like the K-1 visa is irrelevant. The K-1 visa becomes irrelevant the moment you land in America. Okay? The I-94 becomes irrelevant the moment you apply for the green card or when it expires, as long as you got married within 90 days. Just because when it expires, the only thing you can't do with an I-94 when it expires is you can't get your social security number, you can't get a state ID or something like that, because they're going to say it's expired. But you're not out of status. If your I-94 expires, don't worry about it. As long as you applied for the green card. James is a member of this channel. James, hello Diego and Karina. I have visited my fiance once in February 2024. I have regular communication with her and her family. Good. I think my fiance will likely have her K-1 interview in January or February of next year. Will this be a problem? Why would it be a problem to have a K-1 visa interview in January of 2026? That's a good thing. Excuse me. That's a good thing. But we're going to put some mega pixie dust on James, because James needs mega pixie dust, okay? Relax. Don't overthink this process, guys. The K-1 visa application on Form I-129F, they change the edition date every now and then. So you want to fill out the paperwork. When you apply for your K-1 visa, you want to fill out the K-1 visa application, the I-129F, like a week or a few days before you send it to immigration, so you get the current edition. And James says, I'm talking about I've only visited once. You visited once. How long were you together when you visited once? How long were you together? You visited my fiance once in February of 2024. Well, now it is July of 2025. Have you not been back to visit her again? So a year and a half ago, you spent a week with somebody that you want to get married to. Why haven't you gone back to visit with her for another week? At least twice more. I can't say if it's going to be a problem or not, but the consular officer is going to ask your beneficiary, why has he only visited you once in a year and a half? Actually, it will be 2 years by the time you get to that point, probably. You visited in February of 2024, and let's say her K-1 visa interviews is February 2026, and you've only visited her once in 2 years? That's a problem. That's a problem. You need to be getting on a plane and go visit with your beneficiary for a vacation. Tell your boss, hey boss, I'm going to visit with my fiance. Otherwise, your fiance is going to have one heck of a time at her K-1 visa interview in January or February of 2026. Now, you're a member of this channel, and we appreciate that, and I want to keep you as a member of this channel, but I'm going to tell you right now, you got to get on a plane and go visit with her again. And then you're going to get on a plane and go with her to her visa interview in February or January of 2026. So you got 2 more trips to plan for if you want to save your K-1 visa. Okay? Pay attention to me. I visited Karina 5 times. I went on vacation down there for 2 weeks, and I stayed 5 weeks. Then I went down there for a month, and I stayed 3 months. I maxed out my tourist visa. Then I went back again and stayed for 10 months because I got a 1-year conditional visa to live in Colombia. Then I went back again. Then I went back again. I had to come back and, pay my taxes and stuff. Let's see here. James, it's going to be a problem for your fiance. If you have only going to see her once in 2 years, that's going to be a tough thing to sell an immigration officer at the embassy. God is good. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. God bless you, and God bless you also. James, you need to get on a plane and buy a ticket and go visit your fiance. Yay, thank you, Diego. I tend to be very emotional and think my heart instead of my head. You got to quit doing that. He also had another DV in a prior marriage in his home country from a previous marriage. You got to get rid of this guy. You need to get a divorce. You got to file tomorrow. You need to go file the paperwork for a divorce. First, you got to get the divorce done. When you have got the divorce done, you get a certified copy of the divorce decree, and you send it to the service center in USCIS where you guys got approved, and close out this freaking case and let ICE handle it from there on in. Okay? Your mission in life is to get a divorce. And then you're done. That's it. It's an immigration problem after that. You're not going to file for a green card. You're not going to adjust the status. You're not going to sign a Form 864. You're not going to do any of that. Okay? And with 2 DVs under his belt, one in his home country and one here, his ass is going to be deported. You got to be using your head. You got to operate your life with your brain cells, not your heart. Chris and Ammo, I thought you were a member of the channel. What the heck? Chris and Ammo is no longer a member of the channel. I thought you were a member of this channel. I may possibly be moving up to the company. Moving up to the company. So what? It requires 80 or 90% of the year of travel. My wife won't be able to get a transport to work. Will it affect the 2-year adjustment of status? And if my job will allow me to have my wife go with me on the job. Your wife can travel with you on the job as long as it's not outside of America. As long as you don't leave the United States, your wife can travel with you with your job. It's okay to do that. I mean, you just can't bring her to work with you. Like it's not bring your child to work day. You put her up in a hotel. She can stay in a hotel. Chris and Ammo, I will get it fixed. I can't remember the due date. You're out of status with the K1 Visa channel, Chris and Ammo. You are a loyal member. Now you're not a member. What's up? What's up with that? I'm kidding. CQ, I work for Intel. He asked about my job. It's been a week since my interview. Still waiting for decision. He asked how many people live in our house. Well, you should get it. You should have got a decision that day. They should have told you right then after the green card interview. Okay, but it sounds like you answered all the questions and everything's good. And did the immigration officer ask why you were by yourself with your daughter? Did they ask that question? Why did you come here by yourself? Was that a question? Joel Adams, is a tax transcript needed for the interview? Yes, a tax transcript is needed for the interview. It shows you as deceased. Well, you need to get a new tax transcript. You don't want to bring a tax transcript to a K1 visa interview or a green card interview that shows you are deceased. Unless you're going to be going to the green card interview or the K1 visa interview with your beneficiary. Let's suppose my tax transcript said I was deceased. I would have gone to if we had to have a green card interview, I would have went to the green card interview with Karina and said, oh, by the way, my W-2 says I'm deceased, but here I am alive and well. It's an IRS problem. Okay? Mega Pixie Dust for Joel, who is deceased but is alive. I just called the IRS a couple of days ago and asked for my tax transcript for our 2024 taxes. Why did I do that? Well, I filed for our 2024 taxes in January of 2025 so I can get it into her what was it? I can't remember. So I could get it into her 2-year green card application. I waited till July to give them time to process my tax transcript, our tax transcript. So the IRS is going to mail it. They're mailing it to me. They said it'll be here in about 5 or 6 days. So in a few days, I will get our tax transcript for our 2024 taxes. That's going to go in her 10-year green card application, along with the 2025 tax return. But I'm not going to be able to get the tax transcripts for our 2025 tax return because I'm going to be filing our taxes in January of 2026, which is not enough time to get a tax transcript. So when we file for Karina's 10-year green card, it's going to be my 1040, our 1040, Nosotros 1040, our tax transcript, and Karina's W-2 and my 1099. And then I'll do the same thing. So we'll have 2 tax returns for her 10-year green card application. They like to see 3, but it's impossible for us to provide 3 because we were married in 2024 and we were together in 2023. But because we got married in 2024, I couldn't claim her on our taxes for 2023. And I explained that to the immigration, and they understood. Joel Adams, you need a tax transcript that says you are alive. The account transcript shows me as alive. Well, then use the account transcript. Use that. They're both equally as good as each other. Chris and Emma, what's the trick to kill the mosquitoes? It's really bad here. Stay inside. Don't go outside. Chris and Emma is back as a member. That's good to see. You didn't abandon the team, Chris and Emma. I'm so glad you didn't abandon the team. Excellent. Welcome back. We're happy to. I know Francois is happy to see you back. Mount Du salute. Thank you, Chris and Emma. We appreciate you. The membership gives you my phone number. It gives you my email address. And it helps support the channel. Remember, I'm retired now. Karina's working, but I'm not. So every penny helps. Let me see here. It's not far. The IRS isn't fast. Only if you owe them money are they fast. Celia, during my interview through K1, the officer asked me questions of yes or no in my application of adjustment of status, and I corrected 2 questions. In the end, I signed electronically. Is this correction normal? You sign electronically when you file the DS-160. You said during your K1 interview, the officer asked you a bunch of yes or no questions in my application for adjustment of status. So you went to a green card interview, not a K1 interview. So during my interview through the K1 process, you applied for your green card and you corrected 2 questions. In the end, I signed electronically. Is this okay? Is it normal? I've never heard of it before. It's not abnormal. I don't think it's a problem. As long as you corrected some mistakes, immigration, as long as you told them, then you're good to go. Joel Adams, I got check. Chris Nemo, welcome back, Chris and Nemo, to the channel members. The VIP club. Carlos, my friend who did the K1 visa the same time as me, now pending I-485. His wife just got a misdemeanor battery, domestic violence, and it was just dismissed. Will he have a problem with adjustment of status? I told him to subscribe. Well, I need to talk to him. You're talking as a third party. I need to talk to the person who's actually going through this. Okay? So that way there's no miscommunication. So if your friend wants to jump on the live stream and ask me questions, I will gladly help your friend. No problem. But I can't answer through a third party, okay? It wouldn't be fair to the person. But you're asking me, it was dismissed, will it be a problem for green card? Yeah, it will be a problem. We are in times right now where if you cross the street without looking and you get a jaywalking ticket, your green card's in jeopardy. And if you are a beneficiary. Okay, now I'm being facetious, okay? I'm just telling you guys, you got to be squeaky clean, no record, nothing. No speeding tickets, no DUIs, no nothing when you apply for your 2-year green card and when you apply for your 10-year green card and when you apply for U.S. citizenship. So I do a lot of the driving for Karina, not because I don't trust Karina. I trust Karina explicitly to drive. But if some idiot rams into Karina, and it's not her fault, it's not tua culpa, if some idiot rams into her on the highway, there's a police report. They're going to get the names of all the people in the accident. Karina's name will be pumped up through the sheriff's department. It wasn't her fault, but ICE will hear about it. So guess what? I do most of the driving, not because I don't trust Karina, but I'm protecting her from the idiots out there who drive on the highways. When Karina gets her 10-year green card, it's not so much of an issue. Then it's, she's got more strength in her 10-year green card if some idiot was to cause a problem. But on a 2-year green card, okay, you have to walk on water and not make any mistakes. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? I trust Karina to drive. She drives great. It's the other people I don't trust. The idiots on the road. They're everywhere. They're driving with their cell phones in their hand. They're leaning back talking to their children. They're gazing up and looking at stuff. When you apply for your 2-year green card, your 10-year green card, and become a U.S. citizen, you got to be walking on water, okay? So, Carlos, I will be glad to help your friend answer his questions, her questions. His wife just got a misdemeanor battery DV. It was dismissed. I'll be glad to talk to these people. Chris and Emil, yes, I had to update the information. Chris and Emil, you get a Mountain Dew salute. And Francois, look at that, man. Another super chat from Francois for Hardee's. Man, we're on a roll today. Thank you, Francois. Remember now, I'm retired, okay? I'm retired. All these little pennies, they help. Because I like to take Karina to eat at Hardee's. Thank you. I'm retired, guys. I do this for you guys. And we appreciate those super chats. And Karina loves the Hardee's, the big breakfast, okay? That big breakfast. There's no Hardee's in Colombia or Venezuela. She's like, what the heck is Hardee's? I said, come on, we're going to go eat at Hardee's. What is it? ¿Qué? She loves the big breakfast. Chris and Emil, so it won't affect her quitting if this job will be given to me. I will be making more money. No, it's not going to affect her. Listen, your concentration, Chris and Emil, is to get your new wife U.S. citizenship. Whether she's working, whether she's not working, as long as you're making enough cash to cover your living expenses for your family in accordance with USCIS and immigration rules, you're good. You're good. Your focus, Chris and Emil, is get her U.S. citizenship and make more money, right? It's not going to affect you. Francois Livingston, we appreciate all you do for us. Hope Karina hasn't gotten tired of Hardee's. No, we don't get tired of the big breakfast in Hardee's. No, but we do get tired when I work in the yard all day because I'm retired. So all I do now is find stuff to do in the yard. I built a deck. I built 2 fences. I asked Karina if she wanted me to build a fish pond. And she said, no, she doesn't want a fish pond. I said, well, okay, no problem. But her friend has a fish pond. We went to a friend's house for Independence Day celebration. And Karina saw the fish pond. And she looked at me and she goes, oh, this is pretty cool. I said, yeah, do you want me to build a fish pond? She said, let me think about it. And now she doesn't want a fish pond. So that's okay. But I'm going to buy a plum tree. I'll put in a plum tree in. But you keep putting trees in the yard. We need more grass. Chris and Emil, I don't understand why they're bashing Trump for the Epstein files. I heard it was released today. Listen, whatever's in the Epstein files, okay, the FBI has reviewed it. They've checked it. The guy has died. He is no longer on the planet with us. Whoever he hurt in the past can file against his property, his bank accounts, civil suits, whatever. The Epstein files, to me, is a distraction from what's really going on in the United States regarding, our Constitution or whatever. You got to focus on this. The Epstein files is a distraction. Whatever he did was bad. The FBI knows it was bad. Can you prosecute him? No. Why? He's dead. He's gone. How did he pass away? Does it really matter? When things happen at that level in the U.S. government, some things are never going to be revealed. It's like, what's in Area 51? Nobody has a freaking clue, right? Are they back engineering spaceships in S4? Well, of course they are. I believe they are. But does the U.S. government tell us that? No, they don't tell us that, and there's probably a freaking good reason why they don't. And I accept that. But I created this YouTube channel over here. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it right here. I created that YouTube channel to address aliens and extraterrestrials, but it's got nothing to do with immigration. Unless aliens want to immigrate to the United States, then they're going to have to get a green card. So why are they bashing Trump? Trump doesn't care. Trump couldn't care less if anybody bashes him. Did you see what they did to Trump for the last 4 years? Did you see what happened to him? Did he care? Nah. It all ran off his back. He doesn't care. All he cares about is fixing our country and kicking all these illegals out, illegal immigrants, kicking them out of here and getting our economy back on track and making deals and making money for the United States and getting taxes low. That's all he cares about. The Epstein Files is a distraction. I couldn't care less what's in the Epstein Files. Or like if people got hurt by what he did, they can file civil lawsuits against his properties, his bank, whatever he has, his assets. But as far as that goes, that's private. It's got nothing to do with President Trump. Trump is like, he's not paying attention to that. Trump's not paying attention to the Epstein Files. Trump is paying attention to what kind of deal can we make with Japan? What kind of deal can we make with the Philippines or with Australia or with Colombia? What kind of deals can we make to make money for America? That's what he's looking at, not the Epstein Files. Chris and Emil, fish pond will bring more mosquitoes. Yeah, más moscas para pond in Karina. That's true. Francois, are the kitties indoor or outdoor kitties? My neighbor has a big screen kitty house where her cats lounge outside in it. Okay, Riddy and Vinny are indoor cats. Rambo is an outdoor cat. Rambo, he keeps the rats out of the yard. He's in charge of the back garden. And Karina feeds them every freaking morning and lunch and dinner. She goes out there with him, cleans out his little bowl and feeds the outside cat. Rambo keeps the yard nice and free of rodents. Riddy and Vinny were joined together as friends 3 months ago. It took 3 months for Vinny to get used to Riddy. Vinny was just a mean, vicious, dangerous kitty cat for 2 months. She wouldn't even let me touch her or pet her. Because of Riddy. Vinny blamed me for bringing Riddy into the house. But now Vinny and Riddy are like best friends, right? Amigas. They're like buddies now. And Vinny forgot about me being the one that brought Riddy into the house, and now I'm her best friend again too. I'm her dad again. But it took almost 3 months. But that's a good idea about building a screen kitty house outside. It's a good idea. Give me something to do. Chris and Emil, yes, Chris and Emil, don't be distracted by the Epstein Files. Don't pay attention to it. Focus on what's Trump doing for the United States of America. Is he growing our economy? Is he lowering our taxes? Is he helping legal immigration? Is he helping people get their green cards and K-1 visas? Yes, he is. Is he kicking the illegals out of here? Yes, he is. Did you see what happened in Los Angeles today? The mayor of Los Angeles was crying like a little baby. She was crying like a little baby because ICE officers were arresting illegal immigrants in Los Angeles. And she was on TV. I'm like, hey, this is great. Because when these communists, the mayor of Los Angeles has got more time helping communist Cuba than she does helping Los Angeles. She's a full-blown communist. She is. She's a commie. So when I see her whining and crying and bashing Trump, I'm happy because I know that Trump is being effective. Okay? If you come to this United States, come here as a legal, get your green card and become American. Don't be sneaking in across the border. That ain't happening. The southern border is now like a militarized zone. Trying to get into the United States from Mexico is like trying to get into Area 51 from Nevada. It ain't happening. Chris and Emil, I know they're saying about invading Taiwan. The communist Chinese have been wanting to invade Taiwan for the last 30 years. It's not going to happen while Trump is president. I'm surprised it didn't happen when Biden was president. But while Trump is president, the communist Chinese are not going to invade Taiwan. They don't. They wouldn't dare do it. Let me see here. Chris and Emil, so what's the deal about Israel, Israel's president being here today? I didn't know he was. I was at work. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't know he was here. So we'll give a salute to the president of Israel. And we'll give a salute to the president of Egypt and the president of Syria and the president of the UAE. I don't care what country you're from. You're getting around and do salute. We need to be trading with these countries, not bombing them, right? Gohan, Diego, my Filipino wife is not coming home anymore. I don't know what to do. What do you mean she's not coming home anymore? When was the last time you saw her? If you haven't seen her for like forever, did you file a police missing persons report with the police department on her? You said she's not coming home anymore. Then file a missing persons report with the police and get her picked up by the sheriff and have her bring her home. And then file for divorce and then buy her a plane ticket back to the Philippines. Manila is a nice place. Cebu is a nice place. If you're having these kind of issues and you've been having issues with her now for a long time, go ahead. You need to go and file for divorce and put her on a freaking airplane and fly her back to the Philippines. The United States of America is a country where you bring somebody here to live with you and marry you and become part of your life and be with you, not to be disappearing every night to some nightclub. You don't know what to do? You go down to the courthouse, you file for a divorce. It's what, $300, $400? Fill out the paperwork, do the financial side of it, and be done with it. Chris and Emil, it would be funny if he meets up with Cuba and makes the best trade deals. I know it won't happen. Also, Australia needs to make deals too. The president of Australia, okay, is a liberal, woke socialist. I feel sorry for Australians right now. The Australian government sucks. Trump doesn't like the president of Australia. I know for a fact. Trump despises the Cuban communist government because they put their people in poverty. There's no medicine, there's no food, there's no electricity, there's no clean water. Cuba's a beautiful country with the possibilities are endless for Cuba to be like Puerto Rico or to be like the US Virgin Islands. Cuba used to belong to the United States as a territory back in a long time ago, 1800s. Cuba used to be like Guam. It used to be like Hawaii to the United States. It was a territory. It was not a state, but it was part of the United States. Okay? And you know what happened? A U.S. senator filed paperwork to discontinue our relationship with Cuba because he didn't want the Cubans selling sugarcane to his district or his state where he lived. So we got a U.S. senator who wrote legislation to disband us from Cuba all over frickin' sugarcane. What that senator should have done is made Cuba a state of the United States, made Cuba the 51st state. We wouldn't have communists in there, right? We wouldn't have the Cuban Missile Crisis. We wouldn't have people by the hundreds of thousands or by the hundreds swimming from Cuba to Miami, right? But because a U.S. senator protected his little state from Cuban sugarcane, he wrote legislation to disband our allegiance to our responsibilities to Cuba. It was stupid, right? You get some stupid politicians in office, and look what happens. Cuba could be prosperous right now, the 51st state, or at least a territory like Guam, the Marianas Islands. Imagine if Cuba was a territory of the United States. We wouldn't be worried about the Russians or the communist Chinese putting satellite listening posts in 90 miles off the coast of Miami. Christopher Reese, good evening, Diego and Karina. What's going on, Christopher? And Francois, well, hello, Christopher Reese. Christopher Reese, don't think I've been on in a while. Did I share that they got approved? Now we're waiting their visas to be printed. Well, that's good information to have, Christopher. And you could have at least texted me because you're a member of this channel. As a member of this channel, you could have sent me a text and told me that. So we're good. Christopher, congratulations. We're very happy for you. And Christopher, I can't remember the last time I was on. Destiny's Room, are you still alive? Heck, we're alive. My hair's getting longer, but we're still alive. We were approved at our green card interview. Well, we knew it, Destiny's Room. Very good. Congratulations, superstar Destiny's Room. Gaia Privada para Tereta. Very green card. Good job. Francois says, congratulations. Christopher Reese. Shoot, I thought I'd been busy. Production, been down, so maintenance playing. Okay. Destiny's Room, thank you so much. You and the beautiful Karina. She makes the channel. Karina makes the channel. I'm just here. And Francois says, congratulations to Destiny's Room. Look, this channel was created for you guys. We created it to help you get your green card and get your K-1 visa without paying ridiculous immigration attorney fees. Now, immigration attorneys do a good job for the most part, but you don't need one for this process, okay? You don't even need a real estate agent to buy a house. To believe it or not, you can buy a house. If you need to buy a house, right, or buy land or buy property, go into Zillow and type in for sale by owner. And then you can buy the property directly from the owner, and you don't have to pay a commission to a realtor. If we ever decided to sell this house and move somewhere, but we're not going to do that, but if we did, I would put the house up for sale by owner. I would sell it with Karina by owner. And I would say, do not bring real estate agents to my house. If you want to buy this house, you come as a private citizen. The tag and title company will do the paperwork. I could do it, but I just pay someone to do the paperwork, $300, whatever. The house deal is done. Why are you paying realtors and real estate agents $20,000, $30,000 to buy a house? You don't need to do that. Why are you paying immigration attorneys $5,000 or $6,000 to process your K-1 visa or process your green card? You don't need to do that. Come hang out with us. Destiny's Room, thank you, Francois. Keeping up with Irene. Hello, Diego and Karina. I have a question. Tengo una pregunta. Do I need to submit all my evidences when filing for adjustment of status and green card before my interview, or do I need to submit only the paperwork for now? The question is this. Do I need to submit all my evidences when filing for the adjustment of status and green card? Yes. And you have copies for your interview. So you file for your green card and you have a copy of everything to bring to your interview with you. So what are you going to submit for your 2-year green card application? What are you going to submit, keeping up with Irene, for your 2-year green card application? If you want me to go over it step by step, line by line, sign up as a member and I'll do it for you personally. Then you won't make a mistake. Destiny's Room. The interviewer watched my husband and I's vlog right before we went in. Good for you. That's good news, Destiny's Room. He was so nice. It was unreal. Immigration attorneys are not trying to stop you from getting your green card, guys, or your K-1 visa. They're just trying to prevent immigration fraud. That's all. And they can tell if you're in a real relationship or not. They know if you guys are doing the right thing and this is a real deal. I just looked through all of our WhatsApp chats today. There's like 1,000 pages of WhatsApp chats from 2021, 2022. Because for 3 years I was with Karina, so we didn't need to be WhatsApping each other. WhatsApping each other because we were living together. But for 2022, we had 2021 and 2022, I got like 1,000 pages of WhatsApp chats. I'm like, wow, check it out. I'm growing old, guys. Destiny's Room. So yes, thank you for this channel and helping us, holding us through our emotional ups and downs in this journey. We not wait for the green card, Moroccan and African. You meant to say now we're waiting for the green card. Morocco and America, very good. Morocco's a beautiful country. There's a lot of desert in Morocco, right? It's hot. It's a hot country. They got they got the dates, right? The beautiful dates. The Moroccan dates are very sweet, very delicious. The Moroccan food is fantastic. You know, when Karina's a U.S. citizen, we're going to be bouncing around, visiting some different countries. Karina wants to go on a cruise, but I was in the 20 years in the Navy. I'm about sick of ships. But you know, maybe we're going on a cruise also. Joel Adams, sorry, my phone cut off. It's okay. Is it okay to use its account transcript? Yes, you can. Since it shows me alive, yes. Use your account transcript. That's perfectly fine. Joel Adams, sorry about your phone, okay? Sorry about that. Destiny's Room is laughing. We're happy for you, Destiny's Room. Karina and I, when we see you get a green card or get your, K1 visa approved, and if we have done something to help you get through this process, that makes us happy. But with that said, thank you, Francois, for those super chats. We appreciate you. Thanks, Chris and Emil, for redoing your membership application. We appreciate that. Remember, I'm retired now, okay? I'm living off of Pixie Dust, Mountain Dews, and Hardy's breakfast. And we will see you at the next live stream. Francois says good night. Today is, I don't even know what day it is today. Today's Monday. We'll be back on Wednesday, which is miércoles in Spanish. Thank you, guys. No problem, Francois.